Hi, welcome to That's a Thing podcast episode .06, Wednesday, January 30th.
Yeah, that's when this is going up. My name is Kevin Brown, also known as Raylith, and with me is some other people.
Hi, I'm Drew or False on Twitter.
And I'm Cody, now going by Driderman on Twitter.
Yeah, we have a new challenger, a new addition to the same voice triumvirate.
A new Echo.
We are Legion.
The Echo Fighter from everyone's favorite game, Call of Duty World at War II. Is that a real game?
I don't know. I've never played a Call of Duty. The only time I played was when you made me play the new one.
Yeah, because it was...
I assume any old Call of Duty is World at War II?
Well, no, there was one that was World
No,
at
Modern
War.
War is fair.
Yeah, there was one that was World at War. I think it was Vietnam. Or maybe that was Call of Duty. This is not about Call of Duty. We're going to put that aside.
We're
Oh,
losing
no,
any chance of getting sponsored by Doritos or Mountain Dew.
Not as far from it as it could be in ancient times, because now Call of Duty does have the zombies.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, all right. So we're going to do more of a format. And so I'm going to say, Cody, since you are new, how's your week been? Have you had anything of note?
I've been going to school, learning coding, and picked up Resident Evil 2.
Okay, because we're going to be talking about Resident Evil later. So spoiler alert from the title card that you've seen. This will be about Resident Evil this week, but
The whole reason I'm here.
we're not going to be talking about it now. We're going to be talking about other. So Drew, have you said anything that's not Resident Evil?
Yeah, I've been reading Sputnik Sweetheart by Murakami.
I don't know what that is. Describe it to us.
So that's the same author as Kafka on the Shore, and typically his books have this like mythic realism to it. This one doesn't.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I
Okay,
will be
that's-
reading it. So it's
Anything else of note?
no.
Okay.
Oh no! I've been playing a lot of Tekken Ball in the past 2 days.
Okay.
You saw those tweets.
Yeah, you can see Drew's tweets about Geese Howard doing bowling, which is always funny. It's been funny, and it will always be funny. I like to think that's just what he does when Terry's not there. Like he has his awful...
That's how you practice your Repukens.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Terry's not good at bowling because he punches.
Yeah, he punches. He doesn't.
But Geese
bowl.
has the finesse.
Yeah. All right.
What have you been into, Kevin?
All right. So
Besides Dota chess.
No. Okay. So my life is boring. In fact, I'm slightly behind on comic updates for two reasons. One is Resident Evil 2. And two is the hit internet sensation Dota 2 Auto Chess.
You can't really blame Resident Evil 2 when it came out on...
Yes,
I'm more blaming Dota 2 Auto Chess.
Fine.
Dota 2 Auto Chess.
There's a giant bomb quick look. Just
Yeah,
watch out.
it's basically... So Dota started as a mod in Warcraft 3.
Yep.
And then Dota 2 came out.
Defense
and then
of the
Dota 2 has mods, and it's the most popular mod is Dota 2 Auto Chess, which I can only describe as like tower defense and a deck building drafting game. If you were to combine those two things,
That's a good descriptor.
I've won once and then never again because I got a good hand. But man, that game is great. If you are the kind of person when I say tower defense deck building game, your mind is intrigued, I say just download Dota 2 on Steam. It's free, and then download the mod. It's free. Like it's literally
No investment.
it's zero investment, and I think it's pretty. It feels like someone's gonna take this format and make a game like this.
Yeah, I can see that 100%.
And if you watch if you played it or see the giant, you can see I can see someone spinning this almost exactly, just putting it in its own format and saying like Auto Chess Battle Arena,
100%.
and then putting it on like the phone because it could actually work on the phone.
Yeah.
This is a game I like.
Like, you don't even need models. You can just do sprites.
Yeah.
And just have them, like, knocking against each other with sparks flying.
I feel like it feels like a good version of those Clash Royale. I don't know if you've seen like those phone games.
How have I not
Clash of
seen
Clans?
Not Clash of Clans.
No, Clash Royale.
Clash Royale. Yeah, like that's the one where it's slightly more active, but it's really not. But I think there's
Not the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the commercials.
no, that's Game of War,
Oh.
but not Mafia City. See, there's two kinds of mobile games. There's three. There's the kind where it's like a city builder that's on a timer. There's the kind where it's like you're sending your armies against the other guy and it's automatic, but whoever put the more money in there wins.
And then there's Gotcha.
And then there's the Gotcha basic RPG where you pay ludicrous amount of money to get your JPEG waifus. All right.
Bayonetta's coming to the Atlas one.
Yeah, I don't care. Anyway, we're going to talk about Resident Evil. So
I'm sorry, how did you say that?
Resident Evil.
Thank you.
So my biggest complaint about Remake so far, Remake 2, because that's probably where we're gonna
That's what we're
focus a
calling
lot,
it.
and it's gonna branch out from there. Is that when you hit the title screen,
It does not say
Resident Evil 2.
I
don't
don't
want the
find
two,
even
I
just the Resident Evil.
Yeah, I don't need the 2. The 2 is a little too corny.
I need that man yelling Resident Evil at me.
Yeah.
That's key.
That's how you know what you're playing.
Resident Evil's weird because it's a series that I really like, but I'm weirdly casual in it. I haven't I've only finished Resident Evil 4 and 5. I've played 1 in Remake. I have not finished because I rented them, so I didn't finish them. And right now I'm playing Remake 2. But it's like
What about 7?
I watched a playthrough of it.
See, that is most of my experience with Resident Evil is watching Cody play them, beating 5 since it's co-op, and Marvel 3.
Yeah. But
Wesker's very good.
But the thing about it is, like, you say, like, yeah, I'm a casual Resident Evil fan. When you said, like, yeah, I've, like, beat 3 of them, and then I've played 4 of them, and I watched the movie, and I read the comic. But it's
I read the books. I read the novelizations.
Yeah, but I'm really casual.
Listen, the novelizations are actually real good.
Yeah,
Like the night puzzle.
With Jill just cheats.
Yeah, she just breaks the glass.
I think,
like, oh,
isn't that S.D. Perry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she also wrote Aliens Labyrinth, or I think that's the one. Like, that's the highly recommended. Cody, how much Resident Evil have you consumed?
Let's see. Resident Evil 1 on GameCube. Played a few versions of Code Veronica. Never beat them. I always get stuck at the same place. Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5. Skipped 6 entirely. Played Resident Evil 7. Enjoyed it until you get to the big boss monster fight with Jack. And then that's just clearly where they kind of just severely drops in quality. And now Remake 2.
Okay, so here you go from Wikipedia. S.D. Perry primarily writes tie-in novels based on works in fantasy and science fiction and horror, including Resident Evil, Star Trek, Aliens, and Predator.
I'm kind of interested in S.D. Perry's Star Trek book.
I'm interested when not on deadline for contracted work, she writes original horror.
Ooh.
No, I don't know what that's like.
I kind of wanted, because I remember, like, those weirdly good. Not like high art. This is not high art here, but like a good time.
It scratches the Resident Evil itch.
Because I remember
Even her original stories were pretty solid.
I haven't
Like,
read it.
I mean, like her original Resident Evil stories. She did like 2 that were Resident Evil,
Yeah.
but they were not based on
the
a game.
Lost Cove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Underworld. I just always remember that's. I cannot remember the character's name. He's one of the original characters she made up for her.
Donut
sweet-
Steel.
Sure, Donut Steel. Her sweet Resident Evil OC that shot the lock out of one door and then just like sprayed the other door with gunfire. So that way they're like, no, they'll think that we went through here, but we'll really be in here.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like, so I think Remake 2 is incredible. Like,
So I think it's also should change how we use the term remake for video games.
that may be that's
Because that's a proper remake and not just an up-res or...
but,
Yeah.
but I would even say, like, Resident Evil's one where It's weird because I think you can take the same game and like it feels like every game can be tweaked. And when I see what they've done for, I'm just gonna call it Remake 2,
Yeah.
which is what I just like. It's just like I feel like you could take what they did and say like, yeah, I'd like to see that in 3, I'd like to see that in 0, and I'd like to see that in
Code Veronica.
In Code Veronica. Like there's 4 games where you could basically say, yeah, they can just cut the fat, tweak it, make it work, and it's just fine. Like I'd play all of them.
I'd play all of them. I would just say 0 is the last one I would want to see done.
Yeah, especially since it already came out and looks as good as like Remake 1.
Yeah. Well, we're not. Listen, I would rather 3. I feel like 3 is common.
Yeah.
Apparently, they've said that if Remake 2 does well, the next one they're wanting to do is Nemesis.
It makes sense how Mr.
So that
X
way
is
they would
working.
have a copy of like each one on the same engine.
Sorry, Street Fighter 6. A-Team's busy elsewhere again.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna let's have this not even discussion, but this statement where it feels like there are 2 Capcoms. There is money Capcom, and then there is budget Capcom.
Almost you call them Alpha and Bravo.
Yep, and Alpha Team, which I know like there's like divisions of Capcom and whatever, but it feels like Alpha Team. It's basically Alpha Team, which is like Resident Evil and Devil May Cry. And you look at those games like, man, those are incredible.
Yeah.
Then there's Bravo Team, which is like here's Street Fighter, and then C Team, which is like actually this is the Monster Hunter team, so we're also going to give you money.
Yeah, it can be easily explained. Resident Evil 6 Alpha Team got put onto C to help with Monster Hunter World.
Yeah. Well, Resident Evil 6 sold weirdly well, though. I think it sold well.
It was riding high on the previous 2.
A good chance of it. I mean,
Well, listen, okay. So I do not want them to remake Resident Evil 4.
No, they don't need to. There's
That
no
game
reason
is-
to.
it's been
also
re-released
off-
on a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's on PS4 already.
And
It's on every
I also
console.
feel that game is close to perfect. Like, if I were to say, I don't think it's my favorite game of all time, but it's probably on like my top. It's definitely on my top 10, maybe on my top 5, because I don't know. Like, I just did not like. Maybe this is me, and maybe because the first time I played Resident Evil was on the PlayStation 1, and the tank controls frustrated me so hard where I died to the first zombie because I could not figure out how to draw my gun and fire before it bit me. And then after that, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm never playing this again.
Yeah, see, like I said, most of me was watching someone play those games. I didn't even realize they had tank controls until the Beast cast last week.
Yeah, no, they are a rough kettle of fish.
You hold forward and you'll walk the way your character is looking.
But that makes sense because the camera angles, and I understand the people talking like how when they've at least in remake, I don't know about Resident Evil 1 because I can't really I played remake. My experience with Resident Evil for PlayStation was what I just said, but I do remember in remake, it was like all the fixed camera angles were done so for dramatic reasons, and they did it well. So
yeah, it feels like a horror movie.
So it was yep, here's a hallway, and then you can see here's the hallway, and you hear shuffling. You don't know what's over there. It could be nothing, or it could be a zombie, or a dog, or just a bird, or Lisa Trevor. It could be anything.
I just remember the first time the Crimson Head gets up in that game. You have seen that same... No, it's not the first Crimson Head. It's that one body that has been laying in the floor in that one hallway every time you've gone through so you just disregard it, and then it just pushes itself up and is hunched over and running.
I thought it was a wolf man. I was like, what is this? It just... the GameCube, while looking better than the N64, still doesn't look amazing for detail.
Remake 1, I think, still looks good.
It looks good, but it's still... a bit fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, not knowing what a Crimson Head is from up to that point, and it just like having the clearly having claws and like running and stuff.
Yeah, no, it feels Wolfman-y.
Yeah, and part of me feels like that was one of the inspirations for like the remake 2 Zombies, because those guys, they unless their head is off, they like to stand back up at you. They play possum really well,
They take a lot of bullets.
and I kind of like it. I like that those things are durable.
And to be fair, the game opens and lets you know that if you do, like, zombie just gets hit by a semi and gets back up.
So okay.
I mean, they have to have something because, unlike the Granados, they're not going to be wielding weapons at you. So,
Well, I think it makes more sense. Also, if you want to let's talk about it. Like the T virus is technically reanimated dead flesh.
I believe you mean G virus.
Oh no,
This is-
the T virus is for the zombie. The G virus is only for Birkin and G creatures.
I thought all the zombies
No.
in 2 were G virus.
No,
and that's
'cause-
why it now spreads via bite.
No, it's so when Birkin was leaving, he got T virus and G. He was originally gonna like throw out some T virus to literally cover his escape, but unfortunately, Hunk and crew gunned him down. And so this is one of the things that are weird about Resident Evil is that like plot synopsis. I know almost I've watched it. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like I can tell you, I am certain that like Birkin, while researching the G virus to make his superhumans, because that's what Umbrella wants to do,
Yeah.
is to create Supermans.
Even though they already had Wesker, so I don't know.
Well, that was the Wesker project, the breeding like the 36 Weskers or whatever.
The super Aryan soldier people.
Yeah, those super Wesker children.
Yeah.
Was that Resident Evil 6 that went in more into that?
I think,
they touch on it a little bit in 5.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in like the
'Cause 6
shadows.
6 is the one where I like ignore like
6 didn't happen.
6
I don't know anything
ignored,
about 6.
and then
like,
Wesker's
straight up.
kid is in it.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm aware of that.
but
But-
7
And
good.
isn't he teamed
I
up
like
with?
7.
He's teamed up with Sherry in that.
Yeah, Sherry Birkin, she's
Okay.
back because apparently the C virus was made from like
That's
the
right.
G mutated or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know, but like, oh man, like,
Why didn't they call it the Q virus?
oh yeah, because he could be because that'd be clever. That'd be a little too camp. But
Also-
then again, like those games devolve into like
Garbage.
I wouldn't say garbage, but I would say schlock. Every Resident Evil turns into schlock at some point.
I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they turn into. I don't think every Resident Evil turns into schlock. at
There,
the
there are
same time.
some definite moments where even the good games have their bad moments. Like
Well, I mean,
Resident Evil 4 is not perfect the whole way through, and
oh, you mean that part where Leon Kennedy's running from a giant is it Salazar? No, Salazar. Where he's tiny, big old statue man, his
Oh, that
robotic
thing, yeah.
statue. Also, that game has ruined me because whenever I see Leon in my brain, I go, Mr. Kennedy.
I just keep wanting to throw out the bad RE4 like puns, not puns, clips.
One-liners.
Well, he kind of. So my knowledge of remake
You want
is
those a senior moment, perhaps?
Yeah.
Your right hand comes
Comes-
off.
bingo.
You're
Or
not
small
good at this,
time.
Leon.
I wanted to call him somewhat small time, but like, so he kind of like. I've started. So for context, I'm at Leon A, and I've beaten Birkin 1. So this is where I'm at in remake. And during that time, Leon, like, when he finds Claire, he's like, so he goes outside the police station, and Claire's there. And she's like outside of the fence, and he's just like, "Hey, what's going on? I'm happy to see you." Like it feels like he's trying to do some like teenage flirting at her,
Yeah.
and there's like zombies, like ah. It's like, hey, maybe we could just hang out. It's like so. Oh, there's like this locked door in the way. I mean, oh, it is.
This palpable imagery.
But we could just kind of do it. And I was like, oh, Leon, you're still a goober.
Yep.
That's why he's great.
Still rookie comp, not yet super sweet special forces.
Yeah, rookie comp, Leon S. Kennedy. So where did you start, Leon or Claire?
I actually started with Claire since the demo and almost everything leading up to the actual game was showing off Leon. I thought I'd start with her. I've not gotten nearly as far. I literally only got the officer's notebook from the Torso Man.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to get a lot of time playing it because I've got a 2-year-old that wants to use the PlayStation 4 for PJ Masks.
Oh, I get it. But that game's gonna solve. This is a weird game where like there are spoilers, but there are no spoilers.
Yeah, it's a 20-year-old game.
Yeah.
Like where I can say, yeah, I fought Birkin 1, and you're like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, Mr. X. Yeah, we all know that.
No,
guy.
yeah, well, that's different.
That's a different
That's
guy.
different.
I know, but I mean,
Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah.
He's cool. He comes in, he wears a hell hat this time.
Ooh.
That may be probably Monday's comic will be the Umbrella saying, how can we make him covert? And put a little tiny hat on him and be like, perfect.
Yeah, no, it's just an umbrella officer reading like a Fantastic Four with Ben Grimm's in this like trench coat.
Yeah. No one will notice this 12-foot tall man.
Blends right in.
He has like a little hat, taking the bus.
Tipping his hat.
Oh man, he's great. And like Birkin's real cool. Have you seen any footage of Birkin?
I only what was like in the trailers where you briefly.
Oh,
Give,
it is like they go to town by showing that yes, the G virus like mutates in turn for trauma. Like trauma causes it to just mutate Tetsuo style out of control.
Well, like it does that in the original too.
But
Because I mean, like that's where like his eye is on his back and
yeah,
stuff.
but like so there's a difference between like a PlayStation 2 model like. And then
I don't think there is.
well, not on PlayStation.
What,
like
more
a PlayStation,
poly count?
a lot more it looks a lot squishier and like you can see it like it animates like not like it jerks and when he's like "Argh!" and you're like oh man
I'm pretty sure PlayStation 1 has plenty of jerkiness.
well different
Not,
Intentional jerkiness.
Yeah.
but yeah that game so and I will admit maybe this is me being a scrub casual but I did get bit once in the gas station and ran out of bullets completely.
And I've been usually if I'm getting bit, it's because I'm trying not to use bullets.
I had to use a full health. There's a part where you're going. Spoiler alert! You come back through the first area. You know where you go through the shutter.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! You come back through there because it's Resident Evil 2. You come back to that police station like 3 times.
Yeah.
And there's a part where I'm like, I can run past all these guys. And then I ran past and I got to a point where, no, my inventory was full. I'm like, no, I can't drop this one green herb to take, like, the key. I need this green herb. And then, like, 3 zombies bit me and I was in danger. I'm like, no!
Thank God I got this green herb.
This one green herb. It saved me. And I was like, no, it was I had to use, like, 2 shotgun shells and, like, a green herb. And I'm like, oh, man. I did say on Twitter, liquors are a real deal. They are for real in this game. They are not like they just kind of pop and you shoot them 3 times with like your shotgun or grenade round and then they kind of go, No, they got one of them I swear has Jaguar kick. He jumps back on the wall and like slams down at you, and you go from full health to like damaged, and I was like, oh no,
That is Jaguar Tooth, Kevin.
okay, but I was
Jaguar
like, all I
kick
could
is
hear
the
like,
axe
yeah, it's like,
Oh God, it's the new king of Muay Thai.
yeah, and I was like, oh, and then you run because that just makes a walk on.
Wait, is Mr. X just Sagat? If you pull that coat off of him, do you just see the scar?
Probably. Well, yeah, you see that weird like tyrant G tumor or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's shaped like the skull.
Yeah.
Just the
that's-
tumor heart.
Yeah. So that's what happened is that they saw Sagat and then they said we wanted to create our own perfect human champion, and then they made a virus for it, and they succeeded.
Yeah. Well, is Mr. X just a virus, or is he?
He's just a tyrant.
He's
Yeah,
so
He's just a tyrant.
Yeah, he's developed.
He's
he's big test tube baby.
yeah, and I would say it's Umbrella. So Umbrella is weird because I feel like they're both highly successful and also highly
Incompetent.
100%. Like completely like, listen, these guys like Mr. X worked.
Yeah.
Like that worked exactly how they intended.
So why didn't they just keep running that?
Well, they kind of did with Nemesis, and then it felt like they kind of got bankrupted after. Like, so
It
after
wasn't for those pesky STARS agents that were constantly ruining their plans.
If it wasn't just one mishap destroyed an entire U.S. city,
they
ruined all your good faith.
Well,
The government's shutting us down, even though we're too big to fail.
see, the thing is that their bioweapon thing worked flawlessly. It happened in a U.S. city on U.S. soil. Like, honestly, and this is the dark thing, if that happened in some
Venezuela?
if that happened in anywhere else in the world, then, like, Umbrella would be doing just fine. Because they would have said, it worked. The city's mostly intact.
Like, if Resident Evil 5 had happened before Resident Evil 1, there would have been no Chris there to stop it, unfortunately.
It would just would have worked. It just would have worked. And it's
Proof of concept.
Yeah, okay, so I'm kind of so like I know that basically 1, 2, and 3 happen within the course of like 4 or 5, like a week. A week is between 1, 2, and 3, roughly.
I'd say there's more than a week between 1 and 2, but yeah, it's
we'll just say
definitely
the same month. Well, just for reference, correct in the comments.
1 to 2 months.
Yeah.
Well, we'll say 1 month from what a mansion to Raccoon City getting nuked.
Yeah, and 2 and 3 are concurrent.
Yeah. Well, I think 2 starts before 3 starts before 2 and ends after 2.
Yeah.
Because that ends with the nuke.
Yeah.
Right?
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, RE2 ends with the spoilers, ends with lab being exploded. 3 ends with city being exploded.
Yeah.
And then Veronica ends
in Antarctica.
Oh yeah.
It does.
I forget. God. Okay, yeah. They
starts on Prison Island, ends in Antarctica.
Yeah, they need Code Veronica. I think one of Code Veronica's problems is that it feels like it's lab instead of the Resident Evil formula of like mansion, dank sewers, or cave lab, which that feel like
some kind of horror trope setting, and then phase into like the technical scientific.
We end at laboratory.
See, I feel like they make up for that by because it's Resident Evil, and it's like by this point you already know it's gonna be lab. But I feel like they make up for just diving into lab by like the weird brother sister stuff.
Oh yeah,
like the image of like whenever the kid just peels the wings off that dragonfly and drops it into the ant colony.
Yeah.
Like it gets more Japanese horror.
You got Steve Burnside.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Steve, my super cool gold guns.
I have no redeeming qualities to me at all.
Remember when I turned into a monster?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I think he does.
He mutates into a thing.
He turns into a Mr. S for Steve.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I want them, oh man. So, what do you think about Netflix's Resident Evil TV show they're making?
They haven't announced anything for it.
But do you think that a Resident
Evil... It could go Death Note, or it could go Castlevania.
And I kind of, I'm weird because I think because Resident Evil is basically, you're in a place, there's zombies and monsters attack, my brain says, if they don't, this is one where if you don't have any characters in the game and just do an Outbreak style, this is what's going on in the North Ward of Raccoon City.
I don't actually think that would work because then you're just going to get everyone
this is just The Walking Dead.
Or if it's good, everyone would be like, yeah, but imagine if it had been about Chris or about Leon instead.
Yeah. So
I think you have to do one of the main characters.
Well, listen, or you take the big brain announce and we introduce our own original character. Her name is Alice. She's a psychic super soldier.
Yeah, I was going to say, the bar is not high for Resident Evil movies, even if you count the CG ones.
Okay, so the CG ones I like.
They are much better than the live action.
Like, they're
Again,
still
I didn't
bad.
say they're bad. I just
Yeah.
said the bar's not high.
They are definitely from the era of 5 and 6.
Yeah, and like those movies are dumb, but at least it's like at least that fan service wankery. I'm like, yay, Leon's fighting like 3 tyrants. I like this instead of like here's Mila Jovovich shooting
Running
psychic,
down a building.
shooting psychic blast at like the guy.
Okay, that
Here's me,
the
Jovovich
last.
recreating the opening scene to Code Veronica, but making it more extreme by just shooting all the people
Yeah.
instead of blowing them up.
Like, I gotta say, the last one of those hits a point of just. It full circles back to good for a moment. Because the whole movie, she keeps doing the, like, Sherlock thing where, like, she knows how the fight scene's gonna go.
Yeah.
And whenever she meets the Umbrella executive who's been living in the underground bunker, she does that, and as she starts to go do it, he does it based on her mental projection. And it's just like, but how would you even know?
Because he's psychic. They're doing the Dragon Ball Z fight.
No, this isn't psychic powers. This
they're
is
doing
just
the
like,
chess fight of they look at each other and go mate in 38.
Yeah.
Basically, I beat you in 14 moves.
Yeah.
Except with a lot more bad CG kung fu.
Yeah. No, this was subtle and like subdued. It was more like ice picks, like whiskey ice picks, and
God, stupid.
it is.
So, like
Those movies. Are
okay,
bad,
so
don't
I've
watch
seen
them.
2 Resident Evil movies.
I've seen 1, 2, and the last one.
I saw 1, 3, and that's it.
I think I've only seen 1 and 2.
Is it wrong that I don't think the first one's that bad?
It's okay. For the time of video game adaptation, where it's like,
It's also an extremely early 2000s movie.
well, that's what, like this was where we couldn't quite figured out adaptate. Well, actually, we did. It's called Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, no,
But
still
like,
the best one.
but that first movie, I'm like, yeah, because it to me it took what I felt like. It's Resident Evil is about zombies and being in a like the first one
Yeah.
is zombies being in a mansion that's actually a secret laboratory,
Yeah.
which you can kind of take make your own movie and have those elements, call it Resident Evil, and most people would go like, yeah, there's a zombie dog and there's some zombies and there's
Name drop a few actual things from the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are Resident
they
Evil.
throw a liquor in there and they say Umbrella.
There
and
are
Star Wars.
motifs.
Yeah, and you could be like, okay, your horror franchise, you could put the veneer of Resident Evil on it and it works. Which is,
The one thing from that first movie that I've hard 180'd on, though, is like as a child watching that movie, the laser corridor was super cool, but now it's like, that computer's a dick. Why would it just start with the grid line?
Yeah, like that's clearly the. They can't really write off the machine as being just like efficiently killing people as a machine would. It's clearly toying with them.
Yeah, it's being
being just blatantly evil.
but then we wouldn't have to see in Resident Evil 4 because that's what apparently Capcom really, really liked it because Leon does the same thing. But it's real cool when he does it. God, Resident Evil, I love it. It's dumb. Like, it's...
Yeah.
So, do you think Resident Evil is better or worse for trying to explain every single thing that happens as like a bioweapon or a virus?
Worse, it shouldn't even be trying to explain some of the stuff.
I think 7 is worse because it tries to it tries to say, because 7 says everything is one of these viruses caused it. I would have liked it if the monsters are viruses, but that's just a ghost.
I mean, but they can't really do that at that point because they had 2 decades of establishing that this is a purely scientific-based franchise.
But Resident Evil 7 also kind of felt like, well, listen, this is a new jumping off point. Like throw in Mordos Der Stolstealer. Just say, yep, there's ghosts.
Well, I think you can also just don't blatantly explain it to the player. Just have some stuff hidden.
Have a file in Resident Evil 8 that talks about the blah blah test. Where
or even then have something in 7, but you got to go out of your way and you got to have the cork bulletin board
You gotta-
with yarn drawn.
You got to do that Dark Souls lore, figure out it's on like 3 trophies, and then you see like actually if you went to like the lab where he did this, and you looked
Yeah.
over here and talked about experiment 4A,
Yeah.
and if you look here, we have 4B and then 4C, but then 4C, you know, that's what we're mostly at, but then it references 4A.
Yeah, like that type of thing.
But if-
Convoluted.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, but I like it. I think here's my least favorite thing about Resident Evil. Like the thing that just bothers me.
When Wesker pops X Factor.
No, I like it. Both in game and Marvel and Resident Evil. I like it when Wesker decides to pop X Factor. I think it's cool every time. I'm on the
Body slamming Chris onto a table, just like chucking him across the room.
Well, okay, so my least favorite thing about Resident Evil is that I don't like that every virus just makes animals big. So the humans get all mutated and turn into monsters, but like that spider just got huge.
Well, I mean, dogs get it too.
Zombie
Dogs
dog.
hit the rock.
And the giant alligator, it's kind of like nasty looking. It's not just a.
Well, I mean, like but before it was like that's
Here's a giant scorpion. Here is a giant spider that spits acid now.
But if it was like a weird mutated, like it's like I feel like you could just tweak that model, and I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Well, also, does it actually say they use the like same viruses on those, or is that a different branch in
Yeah,
the Umbrella
that's-
division?
A lot of the files in Resident Evil and Remake, it will say that it's like they administered the T virus to test subject, blah 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 blah
To
blah.
test subject Spider, and Spider got big.
Okay.
Or like we implanted it into test subject plant and it got really big, and
Well,
now it also drinks blood.
Yeah,
instead
now
of
it's
water.
sentient.
Yeah.
Technically, the bees didn't get big. They just made bigger hives that got like super aggro. So apparently, it just makes them into
Japanese hornets.
So some bugs get a lot, and some bugs get big.
Yeah, some bugs.
If
get
you're a
busy.
leech, you get a lot. If you're a spider, you get big. If you're a bee, you get a lot. If
Yeah,
you're
there's a leg cutoff. You gotta have at least 8 legs to get big.
But no, yeah, okay, because if you count the roots as legs,
Oh,
then
yeah.
yes, then the plant gets big.
there's the roach guys in 5 though that
Oh,
are the
those-
roaches the camouflage blurry
Those
guys.
are, I don't like.
I think those are the
guys.
fly.
And then in Remake, there were also there was like the fly guys that crawl through the ventilation things.
Yeah, I
And
don't
when I
like
say the fly, I mean like
The
gold blue.
Yeah,
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg
Yeah, the
fly.
I do not like insect people.
as do you not like them as enemies, or do they just weird you
They
out?
weird me out.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
I'm cool
I think it's
with
because usually in media, whenever you got something like that going on, they're usually depicted as being particularly disgusting looking.
Yeah.
Like more so than the insect that they.
Well, no, the insect is that disgusting, but it's so small you can't see it.
Ah,
It
there's
scales it up
bugs.
so you can see it.
Listen, my opinion on bugs is I'm cool with bugs as long as they're not in my house. Once you have invaded my territory, then it is all. But if you're just like some kind of spider and you're hanging
Yeah.
out outside, that's cool.
I don't have a problem with
Okay.
bugs. I have a problem with bug people.
Bug man.
Yeah.
But what if it's the hot bug lady?
Just go eat your skull.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I think that's a good time to end it on. We've been going almost 40 minutes. So, in conclusion, Resident Evil 2 Remake, pretty good. Bug Lady's pretty hot. T-Virus, I wouldn't inject myself in any Resident Evil virus. I think I would rather die. Because, like, I think the best friends have talked about it, and I agree. Where has injecting yourself with the virus gone well in any way?
Even if you win the fight, like your life is over because now you're a big monster thing.
Yeah, you're a big monster man. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, well, time to go to McDonald's and like dragging like your like bulk there, like 3 McDoubles, please.
You get like a book deal, have Uber deliver.
No, I'm an idiot. No, there's a solution. You put on a big old trench coat and a hat, and you're good to go. Even though you're like a 2-ton whale, man.
And that's it. Bye, everybody. Later days.
Later days.
Later days.